Hey, I wanted to do a follow-up video on this. This is what my husband just put together. He had an idea to help me out. Okay? And the reason why is because this right here is a sander I have and use. Okay? Some of my boxes that I build, such as this one that I've been working on, the lip right here, or the edge, whatever, doesn't always end up smooth or straight. And I will tell you why in just a moment. But instead of using the other sander, my husband had the idea to come up with this. Yes, you can buy a disc sander. No, we don't have the money. And even if we did have the money, you know, if we could save a couple hundred, why not? But basically, what this is a capacitor. It's on its way out. So you got to mess with it just to even get it started. He had added a plug to it, screwed it onto two 2x4s. Then, what he calls a squirrel cage, cut off that piece up there, and then screwed that on to a piece of plywood that obviously he cut into a circle. And the whole thing can be clamped onto my table saw to be able to sand this evenly and properly. And the reason why I have to do that is because, excuse all my mess, I know. My table saw, the fence right here, okay, it flexes. And when it flexes, the pieces of wood that I cut, even though it looks straight and it can line up with the next piece that I'm cutting the same size, it's not always straight. And that's just because the fence right here flexes. So, with that being said, that's why my husband had the idea to build our own disc sander. It can hold a 20-inch sanding disc. We will get those eventually, if needed. But he was just trying to save me some time and make my life easier. Now, to answer a couple of the comments that I got, does your husband actually love you? Well, yes, he does. And the reason why I know that, and I can say that without hesitation, is because we've been best friends since middle school. We're both almost 40. And we've been married for 10 years and have 2 kids. So, and he made this to make my life easier. Anyway, another comment that I got, and I really shouldn't address this one, but they said, no mask, no gloves, no common sense. And with that, I'm going to simply say, first of all, if you know what you're doing, okay, and you're careful, you don't need it. And as far as using gloves with a sanding disc, what are you, scared of sawdust? I mean, seriously. And we're using gloves with this something spinning with coarse sandpaper on it. You're almost, if your finger, skips or slips, should I say, you're asking for that glove to be caught up on that sandpaper. So then it's going to end up causing more problems than necessary. Also, my dad is a jack of all trades. He literally has built a house from the ground up. So, and him and among others that I personally know have sanded, spray painted, a whole bunch of different things without safety glasses. I mean, I do prefer safety glasses. I don't have them because the last pair I had, my son broke. So that's another story. But the only thing I use gloves for is when I'm doing the epoxy. Other than that, I don't use gloves for anything. I am not scared of getting my hands dirty, whether it be grease, oil, from, doing an oil change and changing brakes on a car. Sawdust. I mean, come on. I mean, that's what soap and water's for. Anyway, so just because my husband didn't have gloves and a mask on while sanding does not mean he does not have common sense. A lot of people seem to not know what common sense is these days. So, but I'm not even going to touch that subject. Anyway, I just wanted to touch base on that.